Welcome back to Rude's Voice. For this episode, because I'm not gonna lie, I recorded this and then didn't even click record, so I kind of wasted like 20 minutes, but whatever. For this episode, I'm gonna speak about the importance of feeling the household for the second time. This will be the part two to the first part. Instead of probably piggybacking off of too much what I said prior, this one will be more of like a separate part two. And I'll just like pick up on a few different topics that I want to speak about. More specifically, this topic, it could just be just me, right? As I feel like a lot of people that I'm familiar with and acquainted with, they don't share a household with both of their parents, either both of their original parents, or they might have a stepfather or stepmom, or yeah, they just typically share the house with just one of them, either their mom or their dad. And yes, this isn't like something new, but I feel like that's the major problem, right? It's the fact that maybe like I said, it could just be my circle of people that I'm familiar with, but it should not be so dominant, right? That so many people share a household with just one parent, or not both the original parents that had them, right? Both their biological parents. And that's why I'm just like, when you start to look at it, like even the people that obviously came from the household, like it doesn't take away who they are. Like, I still know a lot of phenomenal people. You don't have to have both parents be a phenomenal person, of course not. But even then, like, it just still like begs the question, like, why? Like, why did they have why did they grow up in a parent or grow up in a household with the lack of a parent or lack of a biological parent, right? And as for the parents, why did they separate, right? And obviously there could be plenty of reasons for that, but regardless of the matter, I just don't like how today people see marriage as more of a commitment than having children. And what I mean by that is just like simply how it is. A lot of people would rather have children prior to getting married and maybe never get married at all. And it's just like, it's crazy to think about it, because marriage is not hard. Relationships are not hard. I don't care how you twist it. I don't care how you put it. Relationships are only as hard as you make it. And I'm not gonna. And yes, problems do occur down the line. But so long as you remain loyal to your partner and work with your partner and provide for each other, it is not hard to keep that alive. Right? It is not hard to keep our relationship alive, so long as the people are both willing to make it work and still be there for each other as time progresses. And I'm not acting like every relationship works, no. But I have spoken on relationships in the past in other videos, and yes, the way I see it is, look, every relationship could work, right? Obviously, everything has potential, everything has its possibilities, but there's no reason why you should get with a person and then consider breaking up anytime soon. As you should have got to know this person to begin with, and you should keep getting to know this person, right? And to see their true colors down the road. And then once you feel like you're in that time frame within your relationship and you could trust this person enough and you feel like you know this person enough, then marriage could be in the question, right? Don't get married too soon, of course not. But even then, work towards it. Relationships should be always constantly working towards marriage, right? And then post marriage, children should come in, right? And that's just simple. That's just simple sequences, because after marriage, even a few years later in marriage, you don't gotta marry them, then have children. But like down the line in their relationship and leading to marriage, you should be fully comfortable with this person, and you should feel like you know them like the back of your hand, right? And once you know them like the back of your hand, you know this person inside and out. Then you understand whether or not this person couldn't bear children or not. Whether or not you two can produce and make a great household, or it just won't work, right? But these are things that you find out before you just get into it. But like I said, people refuse to get married, therefore you're kind of refusing to even want to understand the person inside and out. But you will have children with this person, and now when you're met with the downsides to it, because you had children with a person that couldn't take the responsibilities of children, now it's just like, what do I do here? Right? I can't be with this person. We have our own issues, and we're no longer together, and now I have to raise a child on my own. And I think that, like I said, I think that marriage is a bigger commitment when you're literally making life that will change yours. It's crazy, right? Because you don't have children and go back to having the same life that you had yesterday. No, it's gonna be completely different, and no child's gonna be the same. So if you have one child, boom, your life is different, and however many different aspects. And if you have a second one, your life may be different a little bit less, considering you have the experience, right? And you're already living the lifestyle. You're already living the lifestyle as a parent, but still, that child could add more challenges, right? Now instead of taking care of one child, you're taking care of two. So instead of the original problems that you may have had with parenting, you have double, right? Maybe one of those challenges is getting your child from, home to school or school to home. If both those children don't go to the same school, now you have two issues where you have to work that out. Let's say when your children is 8, there's like 4, and one you have to bring to a preschool, the other one you have to bring to a middle school, right, or whatever the case may be. You gotta make different trips, different routes. Therefore, you are creating different constant issues for yourself, and those issues will change throughout the years. Now, yes, relationships have problems throughout the years as well, but you are two grown people that can work those out. Children is heavily reliant on the parent until like adolescent, teenage age, right? So for most of those issues, it's strictly you and what you know. You have to provide the teachings. You have to provide the solutions, right? That is not the same. That is not easy. With the partner, you both are providing the solutions and working towards it. And the solutions are never truly that difficult, especially if you know what you're doing. Parenthood and adulthood is never, there's no real rule book. You don't fully know what you're doing. Our relationships now, you could kind of base it off of your own understanding of what you know about yourself and how you have friendships. So you could kind of use the same logic for your friendships for those. Or past relationships, you could use that same logic to the next. Parenthood is not that easy. Even having pets doesn't even come close to parenthood, because pets is a lot easier and a lot more conditioned, right? And it really comes down to a few little steps and a few little activities that you really have to do, and that's it. Put water in the bowl, put food in the bowl, leave it out. You don't have to do too much. Maybe bathe them, take them to the vet, obviously check up on them, play with them, make sure they're good, but it doesn't require a whole lot, right? This isn't like a child that's coming up to you because they need help with their homework, or they need money for a field trip, or they're going through their own kind of problems in their life. Like it's not the same thing. Now, speaking on the topic of conditioning, right? As a parent, it's important to understand the difference between disciplining your child and conditioning them. And like I said, for an animal or something, you can condition the animal to do certain things, right? Whether it's tricks, whether it's to make them understand how to sit down or something like that. You condition your pet to understand simple actions, right? And simple, do this, get this in return. Like if they do good, they get a treat. Kind of conditioning, right? You don't want to condition your child to do that, essentially, because obviously, yes, you want them to do good, they get good in return. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to disciplining them and it comes to teaching them certain things and providing solutions for problems that they may make for themselves, you have to understand how to do that. You have to understand how to teach them the ways that they could solve it and the ways that they could go about the issue at hand. You don't want to just either, like make more problems for them within the problem. Like let's say, like the example I was going to use is, let's say they break a glass cup, right? Now, we don't care where the cup came from. This is not like a special cup or whatever the case may be, because obviously those will have a little different actions, right? And different, different consequences. But let's say in this scenario, it's just a regular cup that you asked them to grab. It's your 6-year-old child, right? You asked them to grab the cup, get you some water, and then bring it back upstairs. And let's say on the way upstairs that they tripped and fell on the stairs and they broke the glass cup. Now, first things first, don't even be mad at them, right? As not only did you ask them to get the cup for you, right, because you didn't want to, or you couldn't, whatever the case may be, you trusted them with the responsibility to do that. You can't put too much blame on them, as you could have did it yourself if it was so important. But secondly, they tripped and fell on the stairs with a glass cup. Make sure they're okay. Don't just start stomping on the stairs, yelling and stuff. Like, oh, are you so clumsy? You're like, no, don't do that. Right? You're still your child. And what I was saying before too is make sure that you don't want to take priority in the problem over their feelings, right? Because they will notice that, they'll pick up on that. So if you're the type of parent that just like immediately like throw a whatever at them, whatever, right? Words, objects, I don't really know, right? But let's say you're the type of parent that would just like immediately throw it in their face of what they did wrong, right? That's gonna make them feel some type of way, right? Instead of just doing that, understand what's wrong with them first, right? Meaning like, okay, like I said, make sure, okay, since they dropped the glass cup on the stairs, right? But maybe they messed up because of something else. Maybe it wasn't just them being clumsy or just playing around. No, they tripped on the stairs. Maybe there's something on the stairs, right? Maybe when they were walking up the stairs, they're rocking a little bit. Some of the water fell out the glass onto the steps. They slipped on it. Boom, it fell. Maybe their hands were too small for the cup and they're holding it with one hand instead of two, right? That's something that you can reprimand them on. And in the future, tell them hold it with two hands instead of one. It's important to not want to take priority over the situation rather than them, because if you were to do that, then it's like it shows that you care a lot more about the problem. You care a lot more about the cup than you do them, and that'll make them not only feel some type of way, but overall try to avoid making mistakes or tell them when you made a mistake because they don't feel like you're equipped with the solutions for them. They don't feel like you're equipped with ways to be able to help them, but instead make them feel potentially worse. Right, and let's say with the same cup that they just broke, instead of helping them clean it up or something, you gave them a beating or like reprimanding them for it and stuff like that. Instead of like solving it with them and the solution sticking with them in their head, now it's more of like, okay, if I do this, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna get a beating or I was gonna get yelled at. So let me try to avoid this as much as possible, or something of the sort. Instead of, if I were to do this again, I know how to solve it. I could do it on my own. And now, since I have a solution for it and I have a new way to go about it, holding it with two hands instead of one, I can avoid the problem or causing the problem in the future to begin with, instead of avoiding it altogether and just refusing to, trust myself for the glass cup or be trusted with a glass cup. So let's say this. Let's say in this situation now, you're not present. Right, you're not present, you're not home or something of the sort. And they're going upstairs to their room with the glass cup in hand. And let's say they break it again, unfortunately. Well, if first you discipline them the right way and you show them a solution to it, to hold it with two hands, well then the chance of them breaking it the second time would be less likely. But let's just still say in the situation they have to break a cup. Either yes, like I said, they'll know how to go about it. So either they may have not have broken a cup, or if you taught them how to clean it carefully, they can dispose of it and stuff. And they might even be honest with you when you get back home, right? And be like, oh, I'm sorry, I broken that glass cup, so on and so forth. I was able to clean it up though, and I just stopped bringing glass cups upstairs, like something like that, right? Or you like that could be like a little form of punishment. Kind of is just, yes, you may know how to hold the cup now, but still, you might not be the right age to be trusted to carry a cup upstairs. So in the meantime, just keep them downstairs. Or if you're gonna go upstairs with a cup, use a plastic one just in case you do break it. Something of the sort. Now let's say instead of disciplining them the first time around and they break the cup this time, either A, they won't know how to carefully clean the cup, and they might even injure themselves, creating more problems because you didn't show them how to carefully clean it. That could be a potential outcome. Or B, they just avoid the pieces altogether, and when you get home, they'll either just deny it, act like it never happened, something of the sort, because they know if you were to figure out that they did break it, you would probably yell at them again, and that's what they're trying to avoid. They don't want that. So, you really got to take into account how you go about things, because as a parent, like I said, you're supposed to be the teacher, you're supposed to have the solutions for them. So make sure that you are relaying those teachings onto them, right? It's not like a pet where you could just condition them because they're not going to understand you. No, they're human. They are going to understand you. They are your child, right? It's very important to understand how you want to go about issues with them, right? I'm gonna say it's gonna be all for this video. I'll probably make another part 3. Add some more. It's just the fact, like I said, the video I recorded the first one didn't actually record it, so kind of lost a lot of my thinking or whatever the case may be. But I appreciate each and every one of you for listening. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.